science. I'm sorry. It really is. Scientists who go about teaching that evolution is a fact, the great con men. The story that they're telling may be the greatest hoax ever. It is. It's one of the greatest hoax, that's for sure, other than the one we're hearing now from our current president. But in explaining evolution, we do not have one iota of fact. Who do you think said that? Dr. Tasmanian. He's a physiologist with the Atomic Energy Commission. It was a quote from Evolution and the Emperor's New Clothes. That's what it was all about. The emperor had new clothes, but he had nothing on, remember? That's what we're dealing with here. We have a lot of hype. We have a lot of talk. We have a lot of so-called experts telling us all this stuff, publishing all this stuff in scientific journals. It's the emperor with new clothes. He has none. They have nothing. Yet they support one another. The system is cyclic. They support one another. And that's how it's able to stand. And that's how it's able to be perpetrated. Intelligent design. That seems to be the answer. All the evidence is there. I mean, nobody should even the evolutionists are not denying intelligent design, but you know what they're saying? They're saying, well, evolution has intelligent design by its nature. That's what they're saying. Just to get away from God. DNA needs a code. It needs a blueprint. It's got to have all of these components to do what it does, right? So the blueprints have never been formed by accident or by chance. Nobody's even done it in a laboratory by controlled experiments. Okay? Intelligent design is a question here. DNA cannot be made by random chance. It's never been done and it never will be done. Okay? One possibility. DNA is a design molecule. Yeah, that's the only possibility, and that's the truth. Here we have a laboratory, a lot of equipment. They can synthesize DNA, RNA, a lot of these things. They synthesize them, but they don't get them by random chance. Okay? They have very specific experiments that have to be carried out to do these things. And you're going to get small amounts of these components. And it says the instrument can be successfully used for the synthesis of the oligonucleotides with lengths up to about 250. That would be nuclear triads, meaning you need at least 3 nuclear components to define a genome for the DNA code. And that's what they're talking about here. Ensures extremely economical consumption of reagents and solvents. All controlled. Everything is controlled here. Controlled experiments. No randomness at all. Not at all. Impossible. That's intelligence going into that, right? Intelligent design. Making information, making DNA. That's not the way the first DNA was done, though, right? The master had to do that one, and it couldn't have been done by any scientist, that's for sure, nor by random chance. What about aliens and advanced civilizations? Well, you can talk about that kind of baloney, but that's all it is baloney, right? Right? When they talk about this kind of stuff, I like to quote Deuteronomy 4:32. And if you read that scripture, it says basically this, that ask now, is God speaking here to his people, from one end of the heavens to the other, whether ever a greater thing has been done than what God has done. They meaning, for them. And a greater thing has done than what God has done in his creation. That's what it's referring to, okay? It says, ask from one end of the heavens to the other. There's nothing like it. There's nothing out there. This earth was designed for God's purpose and for us. There's nothing out there. There's no life out there that God designed. No way. Here's some options. Hebrew account of Genesis, major source for our belief, of course, our foundation. First 2 chapters, 1 and 2. The Hebrew could support 2 pictures about creation, but actually, when you look into it in critical detail and all the supplemental evidence from the scriptures bearing on that, it only supports one of these options. See, one of these options is God, life, the universe, and earth are all within a short time span, 6 to 10,000 years. Well, 10,000 years is putting you on the outer edge, but just to be safe. It's more likely in the neighborhood of, well, it depends upon what you're going to believe is the origin of creation date. There's some biblical evidence to suggest it's maybe 4,000 something BC. There's some other evidence that you can analyze and suggest maybe it's closer to 5,000 to 5,500 BC. But whatever it is, it's certainly within the realm of less than 10,000 years, right? Okay, well, so even if you took 6,000 BC, you'd still be within 8,000 years as of today, right, of the whole thing. And then the other option is God and life exist for that period of time, but the universe and the earth existed long before. See, that's where Hugh Ross comes from. Hugh Ross is a cosmologist. His faith is not in what the scriptural foundation is. His faith is in cosmology. He believes the Big Bang is the origin of everything.